up, Nate? Big dog in the house. Oh, I gotta add the loss from yesterday. And the 2 wins. Yeah, I took this on market open. I closed it at like 5 pips, to be honest. It popped. I entered here, it popped up and then rejected, then closed doji. The next candle came down first, or came the next candle like glitched up here and then started coming down. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna close here at 4 pips, 5 pips, and then it gave me 15 pips total. My TP was right here on this white line. So I probably wouldn't have hit TP and would have been in drawdown until now. What up, Jonathan? How are you, bro? Oh. This is a heavy rejection area. And so is right here. We have a lot of rejection on the way up here. Okay, so it aligns with this, that. Center would be about there, so I don't need to add another level there. Damn, every time that I eat, bro, I always start burping like crazy afterwards. What up, Santos? My dog. My chart's much cleaner than Forex. Six seconds for this closure. We're about to close right now. And as soon as we hit this level, we immediately started pulling back. It looks like we're starting to break through on this hourly open. This hourly closed very shittily. Doji. Then the prior one is Doji. The prior one is also Doji. We're coming up without a bottom wick first. Not good. Let's wait for that bottom wick. Let's see what we can do. We don't need a large bottom wick, right? Price is already starting to consolidate here, starting to push its way up. If we can get a dip back down into range and then a rebreak of the high, that's something I would be interested in. I couldn't take any more caffeine today. I drank coffee in the morning. I drank coffee again in the afternoon, and then like around 4 o'clock before I drove back home from Miami, I had to drink a Monster. So if I drink another one now, I'll either experience what I call a caffeine crash, where the final dose doesn't do shit but make me feel so groggy and tired, or I'll have some fucking diarrhea off that much caffeine. I've had like 400 milligrams of caffeine today. Oh, Hunna, big dog. About 1:20 in the morning. About another 175 for lunch. And then another 175 for dinner. So what's that? 175 times 2 plus 125. That's 475. It could be. My mom has thyroid problems and she takes medication for it. I've never been tested for it. How that you say that? Maybe the thyroid speeds up my metabolism. That's why I struggle to eat so much. You know what gave me more natural energy, but I started losing too much weight since I don't have a big appetite. When I was fasting, I wasn't getting that crash in the middle of the day anymore. When I was fasting from the morning to the afternoon, but I was losing weight, too much fucking weight, bro. I couldn't manage to eat one meal a day. Like for lunch, my meal was around 700 calories, and I couldn't even finish it. Yeah, send it over. So I'm gonna show you what I ate today. I gotta log in my lunch or my dinner. So I've had 2,000. Oh, I forgot. I gotta add my. I've had 2,400 calories today, and I still need 500 to reach my goal, and I'm completely full. Maybe by the end of the stream in like 4 hours or 3 hours, I'll be hungry again, and I might eat like another snack, but I can't eat 500 calories before bed. So I've had my 3 meals, my breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. And I still need, ideally I wanted 3,500 calories in a day. 3,300. But 3,000 is the goal. And I'm full, dog. I've had 100 grams of protein, 100 grams of fat, and 300 grams of carbs. Ideally, my final supplement before bed should be my Greek yogurt that has 26 grams of protein in it to complete the 120 grams of protein that I shoot for a day. But I gotta get those fucking fats and carbs up to make up for the calories that I'm not eating, bro. Like today on the bowl that I had from Belay, I had to say, I was like, damn, bro. This is everything that I love, everything that I like. It's got the potatoes, it's got the rice, it's got the teriyaki chicken. I got the corn on there. What else did I put? I put the Parmesan cheese over the top. Now you're driving. I didn't even realize the Nasdaq was moving how it was. I'm not gonna lie, my physique is pretty straight, but I have been working out for 10 years. So, I mean, if you've been working out for 10 years and your physique is shit, then what the fuck have you been doing? But I haven't put on the weight that I thought I was going to. I thought I'd be 200 pounds by now. I thought I'd be at least 180. So if I get a men's 1-a-day vitamin and just double up on it, you think that'll be enough? I mean, I haven't been 10 years consistently. I go like 3-4 months, take a few months off, then go back 3-4 months, take a few months off. Maybe in total of training, I probably have like 5 years. But I have put on 40 pounds. I started working out and I was weighing 120 and I'm 160. The highest I got to was 170, but I was a bit chunky. I think like 177 maybe. I don't remember. 174 I think it was. I don't think I ever broke 175. But apparently 40 pounds is pretty good. I just started off super skinny, bro. I was a stick. I was a stick. Maybe that's what makes sense. You're like, oh, your thyroid problems. I was a fucking stick. Maybe I've had just a super fucking insane metabolism my whole life and no appetite. So I've been skinny. I started working out at around 16, and that's me at 16. Look at my arms there. Look at my ribs. I used to have long hair too. That's about 10 years ago now. I was 16 or 17 there. I had long hair until I was like almost 18 years old. Yeah, that was clean options. I took that same setup right here, but the market was moving too slow for me. I can't stand holding through this chop, bro. This chop makes me so anxious. I'd rather just close. My lifting journey started my whole life since I was skinny and I played a little bit of sports. I had decent like shoulders and abs. So I would wear a tank top and my arms would look decent, and then I would take my shirt off and I had abs, and that's all that people cared about. And I would like be like, yeah, I'm gonna work out, I'll work out, and everybody's like, oh yeah, it's because you're just naturally like that. You just have natural abs. You don't need to work out. And then the more I looked at people that worked out, I was like, bro, I'm a fucking stick. What the fuck are people talking about? Abs. These are ribs. These aren't abs. And then I started doing like push-ups at home, and I quit. And I was like, I can't work out, bro. This shit hurts. This shit's trash. I was like, my little brother had a bunk bed, and I would try to do pull-ups off the bunk bed, and then I would sit at the top and do sit-ups on the top of the bed, and I would be like, yeah, fuck this. Yeah, options exactly. And my ribs were covering my abs. And my dad and my mom split up, and my dad's like, damn, I'm fat. I need to start going to the gym. You want to come with me? And I'm like, damn. My parents just split up. My dad's sad and he wants to go to the gym. Fuck it. I'll go to the gym. And I hated it. I fucking hated it. But then, like, 3 months in, I was up like like 3, 4 months in, I was up like 10 pounds. And I'm like, damn, I'm bigger than my cousin who started before me. I'm lifting more than my dad in 3 fucking months. And then my dad quit and I kept going and I never stopped. I started at 17. Yeah, last year of high school, I was already like 145. And then it took me another like 8 years to gain 15 pounds. The move was supposed to be some sells off this level here that we just wicked into, but I was looking at the Nasdaq and we were already down here, so I couldn't get an entry. I was looking at taking a re-break of the highs on the Nasdaq here. But it already re-broke here, and then it was already re-breaking, so I was like, I can't take that again. It only drove 6 pips. This can, I mean, it is forming lower lows and higher and low and higher lows and higher highs. So I can take a re-break of the high, but my target is here. That's 21 pips away. I don't like that. I wanted to break that, and then I can maybe look for this entry here where I have 50 pips actually before the high. That's what I like. I prefer those bigger ranges. The same way I didn't get this setup up here, but this double bottom here, and then we had this candle break out above this level. Once this candle closed above, I took a buy stop off the break of this candle high. I took basically my breakout strategy similar to where you would take your trend line entry. I think you would probably enter here, and I entered up here like 10 pips away. So what does that mean? Answer that, chat. I don't know the answer, but you answer it. What does that mean? This means, right here, I'm gonna explain it to you right now. Pay attention, listen. This means, let's get the circles out here. This means that this low here is actually lower than this low here. And that's all that it means. Y'all thought I was about to say something for real, huh? Listen, people, I'm a moron. I prefer buys. We're maintaining above this structure here. We can be using this as a level of support. We've already rejected off of this level and formed support back up on these ranges here. If we do confirm support here by flipping bullish here and starting to reflip on this 15-minute candle, then we could potentially be looking for buys. Or if the 1 minute starts to form nice structure here, we can start looking for more buys on the way up. We need a real sharp recovery here, right? So if this breaks the lows here and then comes back up, like that, like a real sharp recovery, we can start looking for some buys. So this could just be a liquidity grab. I wouldn't be taking my breakout strategy on the break of the lows here. Yeah, some people don't like that book. I was watching some videos today of some guys that were saying they don't like it. So at the end of the day, bro, some people don't have an issue with psychology and some people do. Some people have no issues whatsoever with psychology. They're perfectly fine with being patient and waiting. Other people aren't and have major issues. So it all depends on what exactly you have issues with, right? This is where my issue comes in, and that's why that book was so good for me. Right? Because I go through amazing streaks and then I tilt very badly. Right? And I end up fucking things up a lot. So the issue that I have, that book depicted it very well, and every time that I go through these little bad spells, I start to read the book over again, and I start to read those chapters over again, and things start to pick back up again. So what's it called? It all depends on if you don't have a strategy that can give you consistent profits, then your issue is then you're losing constantly. Then you don't need a psychology book. You need to tune in on your strategy more. If your setups aren't looking identical every single time, then you need to tune in on your strategy. But if it's not your strategy, and like what I just showed you right now, it has nothing to do with the strategy. And look, I'll even show you where the loss came from. Look, I'll be super transparent with you guys, so you guys can see everything. You guys can see the loss. You guys can see my entry. You guys can see exactly what I did, exactly how I tilted. What setup did we take yesterday? Damn. How do I bring this part down? Oh. So, what setup did we take yesterday where we ended up taking a loss from, right? We had a closure above. We took the break above the retest, and we took the break of the highs here, right? I took that same setup here. What happened? Where did we take a pineapple yesterday? When we got the first bearish candle that we were anticipating a bottom wick for that 5-minute candle. We took another entry here, and then the final entry was when we formed some minor support. The candles pulled back and failed to drive down. That's where I put my stop loss, and price kept driving. What you can see here is that I failed to respect my stop loss, and I kept stacking, 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 and stacking buys. And then what happened here? I got liquidated. Just on this bottom push here, I got liquidated because I couldn't hold my average. Finally got up to like somewhere like right up here, right? And I was like 5 pips from break even, and I still didn't close break even here. And once it pulled back to this bottom push here, it completely liquidated me and took me out. So the same setup that we had last night that I lost 80 pips on, I lost 5,000 pips right here, stacking all of the trades. When I could have lost between these 3 entries, a loss down here, it would have been 250 pips. No, this isn't Wix entry. This is on the Nasdaq. So this would have been a 250 pip loss. So if we go back to the calendar and we eliminate this loss, that would have been a minus 250 tick day, meaning we would have still been in profit. This minus 1K, I lost 500 this day, real loss. So this would have been minus 750 ticks on these 2 days. And then I accidentally entered 40 contracts. And it went down like 10 points, and I lost like $200 or $170. So in total, that was, in pips wise, that was like 300-400 pips. So I would have only had a 750 pip loss if I would have closed that position properly where I should have and respected my stop loss. So what's that? 750 plus 555. So that's what, 1250 pip loss. And then you have here 1500, 1600, 18, about 2300 pips won and about 1200 pips lost if I would have followed the plan. So that's up 1,200 pips in 3 weeks, which would have been on the 50K funded account. That would have been multiply that by 2,400. So I would have needed 1% more to request payout if I would have just followed my plan. But instead I got greedy and I was like, nah, I can't take another loss, bro. I can't take another loss. And I ended up sleeping it. But as you can see, the following day, I made back 100 something pips, and then today I made back like 500 pips. And today was a good day. Those ticks, cut them in half, and that's basically how much it is in actual pips. So today I made 500 ticks, it's technically 250. I made back the 170 loss from yesterday, and then ended the day of like $80-90 in profit. We just had the setup form right here and fail. We just had the setup form here and also fail. Yeah, I'm gonna have a buy stop here. That 15 flip is my break-even point. Bottom wick. Four minutes for this 30-minute, or for this 30-minute closure. That 30-minute will be closing bearish, but the 15 would be closing respecting if we stay right here where we're at. And then we still need a top wick for the next 15-minute candle. So let's see what it does here in 4 minutes. TP hit. Where's your entry at? You took a wick entry or something, didn't you? I gotta have both of these opened up. Because this is a closure below. We respected the closure, top wick into the area, and a break bearish. We could see drawdown down to here. This is way different than this. $30 just closed. 15 close below over here. I'm closing that break even. It might drive now. It just didn't give us a bottom wick there. What up, Alfredo? I didn't see you earlier. Any of you guys still hold? Wait till we break out of this chop. How many pips to these highs here? 25. Crash. Yeah, that 30-minute no bottom wick is the entire issue. So, oh, well, I forgot. I got off track from what I was saying earlier. So, if you are struggling with psychology, for example, The Best Losers Win is a really good book. But there's also another good book. Let's pull up my library. The Mental Game of Trading. The Mental Game of Trading. Oh. there's another book that I haven't read yet, but the son of a hedge fund owner that manages $19 billion gave me this book to read. If you manage $19 billion and you tell me to read something, I'm gonna do my best to read it with my lazy ass. Wild how I can't find it. $90 billion under management, bro. You want to see his garage? Huh? $1 billion, my boy. Billion with a B, with a big B. I guess the picture that I took of the books didn't have the address on it. Look at this.
If you work hard in life, you can enjoy the fruits of your labor.
What's the book? The turtle? Be the turtle, not the rabbit. The Way of the Turtle. The book is called The Way of the Turtle. The author, I don't know. Let me see. No, it's not this one. Yeah, it is that one. Although I've learned from almost everyone I've interacted with over the years, there are a few people I want to thank, especially for the contributions to the way of the turtle. First and foremost, blah 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 blah. Risk Junkies is chapter 1. A. New York session is a prime example of how you might lose, but others might be able to hold. I took the flip of this candle bullish after you guys took some buys, I believe. I entered a little bit after you guys. I saw the same drawdown, but I didn't stack pineapples in between these areas. I stacked one pineapple here, and then I stacked 2 pineapples at the bottom here. So the pop up here, I had 2 pineapples here. Put 3 positions in profit, and I got out with 18 pips. I didn't take any of the positions in here. Now, if it was a 380 pip loss, what do we know? Last session, he made 90 pips. There goes 300 left. And this last month alone, you had maybe 600 plus pip days. So within a week, that's back. And the last 4 months continues. I managed it a bit differently. Whenever we have a massive push down like that immediately after entering, price is going to find a hard level and come back from it. So I would rather save some pineapple drawdown and take a better entry somewhere else. Because if you're gonna risk 700 pips, might as well have one position here, wait 100 pips, and that way you're only 100 pips in drawdown, and then stack 6 entries down here, adding to your total 800 pips that you were willing to risk, and then you would have been in much more profit. But that's one difference of the way that Wix trades and the way that I've been trying to trade. I've been trying to just take my stop loss and make back the small loss instead of going into deep drawdown like that. For him, it works because the way that he can trade his account. And but if I were to try to do that, even with a 0.1, if I do that with 0.1s, first it would take me forever to get the payout on the account. And if I do that with 2 or 3 contracts, I would breach the account. It took 7 pineapples and 400 pips of drawdown to breach the account. So I can't take those kinds of positions. So I've been forced to perfect my stop loss. It's just math, right? If you upload all of your last 5-6 months of data into TradeZilla, it'll show you a chart where it shows you how much drawdown do you go into versus how much profit you make. And I realized that I was going into, on average, around 75 pips of drawdown before getting the W. So why am I losing 100 pips or 150 pips in a 70 pip range? That's because I'm stacking too many pineapples in that range. So if I limit the amount of pineapples that I'm stacking, knowing I have a 70 pip range to work with, I start looking for better pineapples in other areas, and if it's the final pineapple before I say, all right, this is the furthest that I can go, I will stack double the positions instead of taking more pineapples along the way down. Feel sorry. Why? Look. Let's just pick a random day. And we're going to count how many pips Wix ended the day with. He made back 75 pips of the 380. Let's just pick, I don't know, a month ago. While you were still in the streak. This was a 23 pip day. This is one of the low days. Nothing here. Oh no, that was a Sunday session.
20 and then it's gonna crash.
32, 25. So within a week, bro, that's literally back. And that's not even anything he's Caviar dropped so many gems where there's nothing in the chat right now, bro. Screenshot this and send this to, put it in the chat. This is what this guy wanted to see. Right here, my trade times when my losers happen. The majority of my losers. And then I have more losers scattered here, a loser scattered here. So it's really spread out. My losers are spread out throughout the day. There's really no specific time that I take the most losses. I did take a trade and I got out break even. And if you look at my trade times or my trade duration, look at this. Under 1 minute, 24 out of the I don't know how many trades. The majority of my trades are under 1 minute. Then the second under 2 minutes, then under 3 minutes. Anything over, all my losers, when I look at my losers, they're all over 10 minutes. Wow. 61 trades. 21 losses. What are you doing, Goldilocks? We'll use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. boss, the big boss, Nadeem. Yeah, I'm waiting for price to do something. So I was thinking of taking sell stops here on the break of this candle low, which was going to be the 30-minute breaking or the 15-minute flipping and breaking bearish after closing below the most recent range, right? But when I flipped over to the 15-minute time frame, I had a level here. Or sorry, the 30-minute time frame, we have a major support here. What did we do just now? We closed right at that support, wicked into it, and flipped all the way back into range, and then started coming down. So this could have been a fake out back into range. This could have been the push out to the downside, but I wanted to really confirm that we were going to break out of this 30-minute level. So I didn't take a sell stop. If I would have had a sell stop, I would have been activated right now and in drawdown hovering right now. So I really want to wait for us to break out, confirm we're getting rid of this. We're getting past this 30-minute support. This is a wick on the 30-minute level, but it is some minor support on the 5-minute level. But we have a decent 14-15 pip range here, and the whole wick is 20 pips. So if we start to break down below this, I can take a re-break of the daily low and get a push anywhere down into these areas. I know Option says he was looking for a buy somewhere around this level, and that's probably where I would be looking to target. That's already 25 pips into the range. But ideally we can get an entry somewhere here, and then we have 30 pips of range. Yeah, we're waiting. Unless we start to push back in range, close above these levels, and then I can start looking for buys. And that would be the same buys I took here. Boom, break above this level, buy stop. Now that we've double bottomed here at this level, we break above here, buy stop. We have a couple of entries we can take. We can take the entry above here, or we can take the entry below here. You see, we're forming similar structure to what we did here at this low, and we're actually forming it at a 30-minute low, which is the difference. But we can't marry a position. We are bullish. We have a nice bullish range, a 50 pip bullish range. Price is starting to come down 2 minutes before this hourly closure. We know this hourly closure gives us a shit ton of fucking volume. Ideally, I wanted to be in this trade before the hourly closure. Let's see. Are we going to respect here? We need a pullback. It needs to pull back. We can't close without a bottom wick. If we close without a bottom wick, it's going to be the same scenario where we start pushing without that wick. We'll miss our entry. And I can't take a re-break of the low here with another entry right here. Re-break of the low. 15 pips. I mean, I don't know. I need to be in clean range. I need to be in clean range. Because then here you can just have any target. You have 60 pips of range here. What's your target going to be? Any level you want. Take a hit for the market. Breathe it in, gold. And breathe in some of that bloopers. Bloopers smalls. Money printer on the 30-minute. Could be a risky money printer with the downtrend that we're on all the way at the daily low. After re-breaking the daily low here. A risky money printer. Must it on the beat, ho. Gold on the beat, ho. This is the shittiest volume we've ever had for Asian session, man. Nothing is an understatement. We would need a 5-minute closure back up into range, a bottom wick, and then a rebreak of the highs to take any buys back into this range. If you guys do anything, I would follow the Short Bear on Twitter or X, and some of the best insights on the market, some of the best fundamental analysis. And this is a post that he talked about today that is surprising, and it's very humbling, and you really have to pay attention to what's going on. It's like, for the first time, I'm seeing both institutional players and retail traders getting humble simultaneously. In the past, there was a balance of gains and losses, with the U.S. market typically coming out ahead, but this time I feel like the entire U.S. market is taking a hit. Some of the prior years paid you to remain naive. The bubble's forming, and it killed some of the smartest players through solvency. This year is the opposite. Balance achieved on a bigger scale. There's a mix of getting lucky, right prep, confidence, and good risk management made me outperform so far, trying to maintain all the drivers of future performance in check and continue to outperform. He's got triple-digit returns this year so far. But he's saying that prior years, usually you see big banks winning, retail losing. Maybe some years you see retail outperforming a little bit. But this time, everybody's taking a shit, he says. Everybody's taking a dump. So if you're losing and you're taking losses, it's cool, bro. Even institutional players that are managing millions and billions of dollars are losing money. And you're like, why am I losing? Brother, this market is fucking insane. What happened this morning? You took a buy hoping the market would flip bullish and it instantly dropped in 15 minutes, 150 pips, and then retraced the entire move after. It's literally the market said, everybody's buying here. There's a bunch of liquidity here. I need to unload my entries. It's not just you buying. Retail only makes up 5% of the volume. It's big banks also buying at this level. It's millions of people buying at this level. Millions of institutional players buying. What the fuck is going on here? I'm tempted to take a resell of the daily low. Be patient here. We need to break through this level. What up, dog? Hola Eddie, ¿cómo estás? Compré una cuenta de Apex y solo tiré mi dinero porque no la pude activar nunca porque no tengo Windows sino MacBook. Yo tengo MacBook también, papi, tú no te hace falta Windows. That was a shitty move, by the way, if we would have taken the rebreak of that low. That was only 10 pips, bro. Not even worried about that shit. I'm more worried about the fact that if we would have taken that level, we would have been slipped a couple of pips. It would have been in profit 8 pips. It wouldn't have gone break even, and then now we would have been in drawdown. So it was a good thing that we did not enter that trade. Warrior, tú entras a Tradeovate por aquí. Y entra login con los credenciales que te dio Apex, Access Simulation, y aquí estás con tu cuenta. Después de aquí vas a aplicaciones, add-ons y activa TradingView. Después cuando vas a TradingView, aquí abajo donde dice Tradeovate, donde dice Trading Panel, busca Tradeovate y entras a tu cuenta con los mismos credenciales que te dio Apex. Cuando tú vas a apex.com, los credenciales tuyos van a estar en el dashboard. Ok, entonces cuando usas NinjaTrader vas a tener que usar la plataforma web de ellos. Cuando entras a la plataforma web de NinjaTrader, viste, yo tengo un MacBook. Launch Web Platform. Launch Simulation. Y aquí hace lo mismitico, vas a opciones. No, aquí no te deja entrar a ponerlo a TradingView. Pero ahí tenías la entrada. Usas el web platform de NinjaTrader. Yeah, you missed a potential sell stop here. Nothing too interesting. We're about to have a 15-minute closure in a minute here. See if we can get a closure below. Busca un video en YouTube para ver cómo se hace, porque yo estoy seguro que lo puedes hacer. O si no, baja la aplicación en el teléfono y entra por el teléfono. Yeah, you missed me waiting. You missed me close the trade out, break even.
No, I was here for the trade at break even.
Oh, yeah, you were. I saw your message. Why am I dumb?
Yeah. My girlfriend's family just arrived. They flew all the way from Venezuela to Madrid to Lisbon and Carl, so we just went to pick them up, and I had to go get them on the street because I live in a complex, the gated community. So I ran all the way out. They came right home. Did I miss anything? Yeah, thank you. They're all here. We're gonna have some wine, relax.
15-minute closure, top wick. Whoa. I have a sell stop on the break of that low. What does Wix do? The signature. That worked for 4 months straight. We are in there like swimwear. Damn. Our boy over here bought a Ninja Trader account on accident on Apex, and they told him to that since he couldn't activate it because of his computer, they just told him to go buy a new one or to go get a new account. Tenía que estar prestando atención porque hoy tuvieron un descuento. Y ayer tuvieron un descuento por $16, podías comprar una cuenta. What a strong 1 minute wick, huh? What a strong wick. This is where my pineapple area is. Yeah, Options says he's not a breakout trader, but he is a breakout trader. He's a trendline breakout trader. And as soon as that shit breaks out, he's in there like swimwear. Take a pineapple here on this money printer on the 5-minute. No, I mentioned it, and I was gonna take a look at that level where it was, and I moved it down a bit because it aligned more with this 1-minute level here, which is a decent target to have. 26 pips. Nice. That was a really nice wick sell. If that was a 15-minute candle, that's where I would have taken a wick entry at. If it gets there, damn, you're trying me. We're back in range here. And we're looking for a breakout here. It's not the same setup. Yeah, if you don't like the trade, you guys can get out, break even. Closing here, break even. It might drive with this 5-minute closing bearish. I didn't realize that 5-minute closed. Yeah. I didn't realize the 5-minute was closing. That was a stupid break even. I didn't realize the 5-minute was closing bearish like that. When I looked in the 5-minute, had 1 minute left. I didn't realize that that small pullback was a 5-minute bottom with closure below the range. I was thinking of re-entering sell stops on the break of the low, but that was a stupid break even. That would have been 16 pips on 2 positions, 30 pips. Once again, we've respected this level on the 1 minute. Let's see what we do here. He doesn't have access to the actual trading platform. He tries using the credentials and it doesn't work. And he tried with their support and they can't help him. I have no idea what to do. LOL. This is a banger trade. Two break evens tonight. Cause tonight will be the night that I will fall for you over again. No, my mind. Wait for a 5-minute closure. See if we can get a closure below the range. 2 minutes. We didn't miss much. anything today? No! You pulled an Eddie, bro. Sometimes I'll be looking over here and I go to sell. I go to, let's say I have a buy open, right? 2 positions, and then I go to sell the buy. I'm looking at the buy because I have a buy open, and then I press buy again at my TP. So I add an extra position where my TP is. And as soon as it pulls back, now it averages me in. I'm only in profit like 6 pips instead of like 10, and then it fucks me. That's the same thing it did as soon as we entered. Gold. That was a real yawn, not a Wix 9 yawn. Can we get a top wave first? If we can get a nice top wick and then a flip bearish. Not too sure about the buys here. What level are we bouncing off of? Fucking nothing. I mean, the scalp buy is played out. Yo, options, does AMP and TradeAway have different prices? Because we never hit your 47.7. This thing only drove 15 pips before it flipped. So even if we didn't get any profit on that trade, it doesn't matter. It drove 15 pips and flipped. All you had was 15 pips to take advantage of before it flipped. That's trash. That means that our getting out break even was proper risk management. What did I see here? 12 pips max of profit? Not interested. I wanted this to pop to the lows. I can full close at 15, 20, 30 pips once you break the lows. My plan was to hold. That's why I was hovering there. We were still below the SMAs. We were still below the 5s. The 5 minutes were still closing below. The 5 minute closed below. Everything was still closing below. Here on the entry, I mean, you guys got 16 pips on yours, so maybe 16 pips is good. But shit. this is a good money printer, but it didn't. That didn't show up. This didn't show up here. That's a really good money printer. Yeah, my spread is caca right now. 2. Yeah, that's what Wix was talking about when he was saying that his spreads are always at 1. You don't have any water? You can bring me your jug. I forget, but I'm always focused on getting fucking home. Just getting home. I don't want to be anywhere else besides home. I hate stopping by stores. I hate anywhere that's not my house group. It's not just this place. It's just do whatever the fuck I want. And nobody tells me shit in here. I'm the ruler. I'm the king. I do what I want. I'm gonna have a sell stop here if we break these lows and start pushing down. That's everything flipping bearish. We should see nothing but the rebreak of the daily low here. One more push here. There you go. And I'm gonna go break even on my futures trade. I didn't get a chance to close there all the way. That gave me 15 pips. We're gonna close here at 10. That's enough. We'll secure 10 pips for the night. I had two options there. I was gonna close half and leave the other half running, but then I would have had to buy a position, then edit the sell stop, and I didn't have confidence in my own tech skills that I could have done that fast enough before price pulled back and took me out. Right? I wasn't confident enough in that I could do that fast enough, because I was going to close half at 10 pips and then leave the other half running. After these wicks up here, if it does re-break that low, there's no reason why it should come back to our entry, and we should see a full 20 pip move here. Yeah, there it goes. Ideally, that's what I wanted to do, but I don't have faith in my tech skills, bro. I personally think I was gonna fuck that up. So I was like, you know what, let me just close full here. Check this out. This was a Wix trade in the morning. He took a bottom wick entry somewhere here. I took the wick, this entry, I don't remember. I took a lower entry here. When he started sending his pineapples, here, bam, here, bam, here, bam, here, bam, here, bam, right? He was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 11 positions in. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 positions in. What I did, I know that I have around 70 pip stops before my trades start to not play out. I read this and I'm like, there's 90 pips to, there's 100 pips to the bottom of this range. I'm gonna take a much lower pineapple. So I took a pineapple here. As soon as I waited for it to react off this level. See how we didn't react at all off any of these levels? I waited for it to react off this level. See how we were getting multiple wicks down, a closure, bullish into this range. I took another pineapple here. And then once price hit these lows again here, I took another pineapple. Oh, that sells.
Hey, Eddie, it just dropped like 50 pips. Everybody's talking to you on the chat.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was a beautiful trade if you guys are still in it.
Yeah, no, we're not.
Those sells from earlier were still pretty valid. The whole sell situation was valid. That's gorgeous. That's why I wanted to leave a runner. My entry was so good that it shouldn't come back to this low here, and my entry was up here at the break of this low here. We're bearish, so we close. This is what my mind said, right? I said, all right, we're in range 1 of the support that we formed here. We're bearish, we don't need much. We formed a minor range 1 on this level, so instead of a closure below, all I need is a really strong break for a confirmation that we're coming down. On the 5-minute time frame, we closed back above all these ranges and then closed back below. Once I saw that we were forming support, then resistance, then this candle closed bearish down here, but first came up and created a top wick. I was like, cool, on the flip of that candle, sells. And then to be safe, I put it down here. No slippage. So if price were to come back up, we would likely see a retest of this area or these wicks here, not our entry here. That's why I was planning on leaving the runner there. See, when price sets up like this and gives you this setup in profit, that's perfect. But when you're over here and you're not even in profit yet, you're at break even and you're getting this, I don't know if this is for a continuation like it was here, or if it's for a reversal like it was here or like it was here. So if I'm in profit, I can hold. I'm break even already. That's not an issue. But if I'm break even and I'm not sure what the market's going to do, especially after rejecting support here, that's why I had to close break even here. But once we're already down here, we already rebroke the lows after faking out back into range. There, you could have literally not even went break even and just held this trade, knowing that that rebreak of the daily low and the rebreak of the daily low twice should have gave you an even stronger push, and you could have held even longer. So that's just more data now. So when I go look back at my data, I go see that all of my entries went into profit, and that gives me more confidence, especially when I'm at the break even point. I can give price a little bit more time because I know that the majority of the time all of my entries are going into profit. So I can give price one time, one try, two tries, and that's it. If or three tries max. Like yesterday, we gave it three tries and price failed to give us that third attempt, and I had to get out of those cells. So we're already at a major support here, so I don't know if we'll continue here. But if we start to form some support here, wick down, and then pull up, I'll be willing to take some buys. But then that would be past the hourly closure, and I'm probably going to call it after that trade. That was a beautiful trade. That trade was fucking perfect. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking for every single time. The same trade every single time. This time, I had a little bit of a different entry, and if you notice, this is a trend line entry here. But I don't trade trend lines. I trade range 1, range 2, and I trade candles. So this is your range 1 fake out back into a bearish day. Your price is bullish. You have a closure. Range 1 breakout is all that you need for a continuation down. Seriously, and I missed all of it. Even the 10 pips. Even the 10 pippers. No way. Did you guys all close break even or something, or just at 10? If you close at 10, you're a winner, brother. You're a winner. You're a winner. Relax. You're a winner. What's better? Instant 10 pip profit or 50 pips of drawdown, 30 pineapples, and then you catch 20 pips? I'd rather the instant 10, instant 20 every time. Bro, that was technically 15 pips. I gave price more chance to continue. And then once it gave me that minor pullback, I decided to just close the trade. So that was a personal preference that had nothing to do with the trade or risk management. I over risk managed on that trade and started just getting back some profits, right? But that trade would have had a 15 pip TP, and I would have waited for the full TP to get hit. But now that I'm seeing more and more of this play out, especially on the Nasdaq, I'll give you an example. The max profit I can make on one of these funded accounts is $1,000 in a day, and I was in 3 positions on the Nasdaq. I took a buy here, bam. I took another buy here, bam. I took another buy here, bam. And then if we were to break the daily lows where my stop was, I was going to lose 150 pips. Not much risk. But this was the 9:30 open candle, I believe. So if we flipped and broke the 9:30 candle high, that shit was gonna fly at least 300-400 pips, like it always does. And I had a TP at 250 pips, and I was gonna collect $750. And I had a TP, I had my stop loss, and I put my phone away, and I just let it rock. I was willing to risk. And then I got on, and I was 50 pips in profit, 150 pips across all 3 positions, and I panicked and I just closed all the trades. And then it went 15 minutes later, it went boop, right to TP, hovered there for like an hour, would have gave me plenty of time to notice it was there, and then came back down. The more and more data that I have, the more confident I can get in just setting a TP at a target, knowing that the majority of my trades get there and I can just wait for it. Or instead of going break even, that target is my new break even point and I can collect half, 80%, and let the other half run. Damn, so if you get an hourly closure below here and then you get a top wick minimum to like right here, you could start taking a rebreak of the daily low again, and then you have plenty of range. This is a 30-minute support here, so I want to see the same thing. Yeah, no, I'm gonna call it. What'd the Nasdaq do? We're finally breaking out. Oh no, we did break out from the buys that I had earlier. I took buys here on the Nasdaq and I closed because it didn't drive, and then I took buys here again and I closed. And look at this drop, 246 pips. And then we finally broke the daily high, and we broke by 93 pips. Now, that's not a lot. I wouldn't have liked any of these moves here. This move here would have given me 23 pips only. That's trash. Not interested. This break of the high, 29. That's trash. The only good move was the continuation up here, the break of this high here. Once you rebroke this high and you formed that little support here, the break of this high was super valid. But how much did that give? 42? Yeah, no, that's not bad. I feel my mental slipping. Alright. Do you have a journal? And do you write down your thoughts? You know what I do? I go back to myself. Check this out. Where are some of my funny notes? Look. A week of trading on my own. This was, what date? July 22, 2023. This is how trash I was in 2023. A week of trading on my own, and I'm up 4%. I went back to watching the streams, and I lost 12%. Maybe I'm learning very well, and I need to be on my own already. Because I had 1 week up 4% by myself. And then within 15 minutes, I'm like, you don't need to be on your own. You're fucking things up. Stop fucking things up. Go back to watching the streams. This is the shit that I talk to myself, bro. Then September to December was my best of 2023 was my best trading month, my best trading quarter. Hey, October 21st, 2023, I secured my first funded account. My first 5K funded. Yeah, but look, bro. I'll be writing notes after notes, and then some drawings, and then more notes, and then more notes, and then more notes, and then my trading plan. I wrote it down on paper, my entry models, and then a little bit more notes, a little bit more notes, a little bit more notes, and then some drawings. And that's not all, and that's not it. Look, I have another one. Look, notes after notes after notes after notes, 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 notes. Having all this shit written down, bro, 10 years from now, I can open this up and look at it and be like, damn, Eddie, look at what you were saying 10 years ago to yourself, how you were writing down. Why are you always fucking things up? Why do you keep falling victim to the same thing over and over again? And then now look at you now. Look at where you're at now. Man, if this wasn't 1 minute left before the hourly, I would be attempting sell stops. If it wasn't 1 minute before the hourly, I would be attempting sell stops. That's so nice, so clean. This is the same entry. So look, see how we got this entry here? We could have taken that same entry here. The same setup happened. Sell stop here. Activated, would have been in profit 10 pips, break even. Let's see if this trade would have played out, or 10 pips I would have maybe likely closed being this late. A quick 10 pips, I'm out. But if price is going to continue to drive down now and have a quick pop, it's not going to break this level. It's probably just going to keep coming down. Even though it's an hourly closure, that doesn't really matter when it's re-breaking the daily lows. Yep, there it goes. And there's 15 pips. 13 pips. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Just know we're going to be killing it the next week, bro. We're going to be murdering next week. I'm activated. My mind is sharp. I'm fucking killing it. Let's go to my trading journal. Oh, not trading. Let's go to my trading journal the last couple minutes and see what today has brought. How much I was able to bring in today. So, after losing 7,000 pips, today I made 600, and yesterday 117. It can be. If it re-breaks the low, that shit's gonna dump. That's why the entry up here was ideal. The entry up here was really nice. So more days like that, more consecutive days like that. That's 14 more days to bring this back to break even. Yeah, if this dumps and breaks the low, that's clean. Yeah. Like when you have this formed at the hourly closure, there's much more possibility that price is going to continue without that hourly top wick, and that is going to be giving you the hourly bottom wick for that eventual flip up, but you're taking advantage of that push down while having a really clean entry. So that was a total of 22 pips. That's nice. And it's still, oh no, I thought it was still re-breaking the lows here. Holy shit, it just pulled back in a split second. But yeah, man, that would have been a good entry. The same entry here, look at how we took it over here. So, with that being said, beautiful dub tonight. Break even on the other trade. Could have been a little bit of profit, but imagine all three positions holding in profit. That would have been like 1,000 pip night. That would have been 70 times 3. Yeah, crazy. One of these days. Have a wonderful night, everybody. I appreciate you guys for showing up. Drop a like if you're still in here. I hope you guys make some fucking money. You got a beautiful money printer here on the 30-minute. Make that moolah, gang. Oh shit, bougie. If you're in here, you're up 10 pips. It just wicked up 12 pips. That BE closing half, letting the other half rock. Because if you have the bottom of the day, your half will literally run to the top here and get you some fucking money. If you don't have the bottom, then you left half the money on the table. But if you do have the bottom, you got triple the money on the table right there, bro. Ah, shit, double money printer. Suck my nuts. Have a wonderful night, gang.